Welcome to SUPERMOTOLAND, our early March update, and you've probably heard of all the rain we're having in Spain, in Murcia at the moment. That's outside. The pool's actually overflowing. So just had out, this whole week's been pouring down with rain, and hopefully that's about it now. So last weekend we raced in the first round of the Catalan Championship, and we had a great weekend. Took 4 riders, and all 4 riders managed to be on the podium in their various classes. Just thought I'd give you a few sort of technical updates of what we were doing. We took 2 bikes for Loris Fordun. This is his 2024 bike, and that's his 2022 bike. We went to the Mora de Ebra circuit, so it's a big, fast, sweeping track, and his lap times are pretty much similar on both bikes. He was testing both of them on the Friday and the Saturday, but this bike was slower than the 22 bike, mainly because this has got the single pipe on, and whilst it's good for like a tighter track for drive, bottom end and mid range, on a big faster track you've got to have the twin pipes. Obviously one of them's missing now, I've got one off, but the older spec bike was faster. So we were working with both because I was trying a Vortex ECU on the 22 bike for the first time with the second injector, and that made a big difference. He really liked that. We had on the map switch, map 1 was single injection, map 2 was with the second injector kicking in, and I was putting about 20% fuel through the second injector at various points. It does vary. You have to sort of build up your own map for it, but roughly about 20% of the fuel going through the second injector. And it made a big difference. He said he could feel the difference, much more sort of power and drive. And on the data, it was about 3-4 kilometers an hour faster with the second injector engaged. So that was all quite promising. It was a wet race. We had wets on. Pretty horrible wet and cold conditions, but he won both his races and leads the Catalan Championship, so we're well happy with that. Another little point of interest, the Spider triple clamps. We noted that was with the 14mm offset. OEM is 16mm, and he was struggling with he's getting quite a bit of head shake on the faster, more flowing track. So we actually took the 14mm offset out and put in the 16mm, which is a great thing about these triple clamps, that you can adjust them. It takes a little bit of doing, but it's probably about 20 minutes we got it changed. And then he preferred that less head shake, a more stable bike with the 16mm offset. So that's where we ended up with that. Really liking the fun brake from Hell, and laced up to the oversized disc and rear MXC caliper from Motormaster. That really worked well for us, and I didn't have that on this bike, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm just fitting a fun brake system to the 22 bike so that he's got both bikes available to him, and we're building both of these up for the S1 GP. First round's in Spain at the end of March, so we're going to take both these bikes for him to ride in the S1 GP. So he's training like mad on the dirt at the moment, which is a little bit difficult because obviously it's raining, and we need to get some more dirt practice in because he's very quick on the asphalt, but as you know, in S1 GP the guys are insanely fast in the dirt. So that's Loris Fordun, what we did there. This is the 2025 KTM. The client arrives on Sunday to pick that up. So that's all built and ready for him. A lot of engine work done on that one. And we're going to spend a whole week testing and training. And I'm going to be setting the bike up, both suspension-wise and engine-wise, for the client. So that's quite exciting. Good thing to look forward to this week. Yeah, I'm quite excited about that bike. It's got a lot of trick bits on it and should be very, very fast. So out here, I just want to tell you about our other riders. Just washing down bikes at the moment. Damon Offer's bike isn't here. He's taken his home, but he did P2 in both races in the SM Masterclass at the Catalan Championship, so he had a good ride. This is Nick Cronin's bike, number 41. He was on pole position in the first qualifying, and then went out in the second qualifying, and unfortunately had a crash, which sort of probably dented his confidence a little bit as well. And he had another crash in race one, again in these horrible wet conditions. But he was sort of chasing down the leader in the SM Masterclass, and just asked a bit too much and lost the rear. Spun out there. So he ended up finishing P3 and P3 in his races, but he wasn't happy with it because he had a lot more potential. I think he went away a little bit upset, but now he's all fired up to come back for round two. He admitted himself he's not a great weather rider, and when he got on pole position, I think he surprised himself, and yeah, just the rest of the weekend just caught him out a little bit. And then Will McMahon flew in from America. He was number 5. He hadn't done any training. He works offshore in the Gulf of America, and drilling oil and stuff like that. Yeah, when he came here, he literally just jumped on the bike, did the Friday practice, Saturday practice, and then into the wet race on the Sunday, and managed a very impressive P2 in the senior class overall. So we had 1 and 2 in seniors and 2 and 3 in masters, which was fantastic. So yeah, really good race weekend. Now hoping for some sunnier weather, and get back to some development and training over the next few weeks. Anyway, that's our update from early March.